Oh, round of applause for being healthy. It doesn't need to be more than that, but that's a beautiful win. That's a beautiful win. Welcome, welcome. We're glad to have you here. Axel, saying to you, who are you, where do you live, and what's your win for the week?
Hi guys.
What's
So my name is
happening?
Axel. I live in Ireland. And my win for the week is just that I actually managed to get out of the house more often.
Round of applause for fresh air, good staying in touch with nature. What did you do? What did you do?
Yeah, I went for walks. I went
Nice.
actually social dancing outside.
Woo!
It was a bit weird.
Yeah? First time in a
Yeah,
long time?
but we have been on lockdown for so long in Ireland that now being with people around is kind of feeling weird.
Yeah, nah, tell me about it. When I was in Spain in the beginning of COVID. So I used to live in Barcelona, and they were like the first one to have like lockdown. So it wasn't long. I mean, it wasn't long compared to I believe what you guys in Ireland has been up to. But we had like complete lockdown for 50 days. I left my apartment twice, and then I went home to Sweden, which had no lockdown. So I was like, it was so weird. Like you come home and everything, you come to Sweden and everything is open. So it's like, it takes a time to get used to socializing again. Yeah, I get that. But awesome. Glad that you're taking the steps towards it. That's a huge win. Erlinda, talk to us. What's going on?
Hi, I'm Erlinda, and I'm from Oakland, California. And my win for the week is I'm much more consistent with meditation
Yes.
and my hypnotherapy, and it's making a difference.
Round of applause for that.
Mindset.
Round of applause for that. That's huge. That's huge. I actually met Erlinda in a mentorship program with this guy, the guy who wrote this book. That's how I met Erlinda the first time, and we've been hanging out ever since. Martina, talk to us. Who are you? Where do you live? And the win for the week.
My name is Martina. I live in Vienna, Austria. And my win for the week is I didn't see my niece and nephew for a long time. And the last weekend I've seen them for a long time.
That's awesome.
So it's great.
Yeah, that's a huge win. Round of applause for family time. Round of family time. Amalie, what's happening? Amalie.
My name is Amalia and I'm from Norway. My win for the week is that I did not go party.
As a Viking.
Yeah.
That's a Viking right there. That's a real Viking.
I needed a weekend of rest and I did that, and it's been some time now. So I'm happy for that.
Yeah, round of applause for that. Round of applause for that. That's beautiful. Listen, you guys are laughing, but you don't know how we Scandinavians how we have it. So we have like 4 weekends of the entire year is sun. So when we have those 4 weekends, it's like we have to party. So we have to, like, this is our time to party. But then what happens is that we go overboard with it. Like we have a tendency to like really go overboard with it. So I respect that, Amanda. That's a huge win. Love it. My name is Coach Sebastian, or I'm Sebastian. I live in Sweden for 4 more days. Then I'm going to Switzerland, and then to be honest, I don't really have a destination to go after, so I don't have a home right now. And but it is what it is. My win for the week is that yeah, I'm leaving. I'm leaving Sweden. My win for the week is that I'm leaving Sweden. I'm gonna be honest. I've been here way too long. I've been here way too long right now. It feels like I live here. It feels like I live. I don't live here. I'm just been on a very, very long vacation. But that's the win for the week. Is like we have tickets, we out, and hopefully we'll land in a place where they are more relaxed with the restrictions, and we can have a normal life. So that's my win for the week. With that being said, it's time for me to get comfortable. And we're gonna talk about this book right here. You guys can hear me good, right? Awesome. First things first, have anybody read or heard anything from Tim Grover? No? Alright, Elena has, for sure. So, this guy right here, is his name is Tim Grover, and essentially what he did was that he is one of the pioneers in sport-specific training, as in he was one of the first who started to train specifically professional athletes in their individual sports. And what he did was that he wasn't only a fantastic trainer, or athletic specialist, as in he started taking care of like all the physical training of the students. He also went on to become one of the best ones, if you ask me, when it comes to mental performance, and that's where I found him. Parents are from India. He is, how old is Tim? You know?
55 plus now?
No. He's got to be older than 50. Linda, do you know how old Tim is? 50, like close to 50.
He's probably as old as I am, so he must be either late 50s or early 60s.
Yeah, I reckon late 50s. I think he's late 50s. And he wrote this book about mindset, right? So we're gonna read a little bit, or I will attempt to read a little bit. With that being said, I'm dyslexic, so this may end like nobody knows how this shit will end. But but bear with me, all right? This is like one of my biggest fears. So honestly, so bear with me. We're gonna read from this book later. But the way so this is like half philosophy, half mental performance, what we're gonna talk about today. But I'm really excited. So I'm gonna do my absolute best to give you guys a good insight into this book. And the few things we need to clarify before. So he divides people based on performance specifically, all right? Not how you are, as if you're kind, if you're happy, if you're sad, but like purely based on performance. He divides us into 3 different categories. He calls it coolers, he calls it closers, and he calls the third one cleaners. So coolers, they're good. They're good people. They're good at what they're doing. They get the job done, basically. Great are the closers. They deliver what you expected from them, unless there is too many variables. And then you have the people that are unstoppable. He calls them cleaners. So I will read here in an attempt to make even more clarity about what type of character you might be, and so we really understand the concept of closers, cleaners, and coolers. All right? So coolers, closers, cleaners. Let me see here. Where will I start? Here we go. So he says, coolers have an amazing game. Closers have an amazing season. Cleaners have amazing careers. Good, great, unstoppable. Coolers avoid taking the winning shot. Closers takes the winning shot if they know that they have a good chance of making it. And then cleaners, they just trust their guts and shoot, don't think twice about it. Coolers worry about the competition and how they measure up. Closers study the competition and plan their attack based on the opponent. Cleaners make the opponent study them. They don't care who they're facing, they know they can handle it all. They are prepared. Everybody with me so far? Is this starting to make a little bit sense? Right? Coolers think they want the spotlight, but when they get the spotlight, they usually handle it badly. Closers stand in front because they need to show who's in charge. Cleaners don't have to show who's in charge. Everybody already knows it. Coolers will eat what you feed them. Closers will order what they want and be satisfied with a great meal. It doesn't matter what a cleaner eats. he'll still be hungry again in an hour. It makes a little bit more sense, right? So here comes the thing. Then you might be listening and it's like, wow, like I don't think, you probably think that on a scale of 1 to 10, you're somewhere in between like cooler, closer, and cleaner, right? So it's like 1 to 3 is cooler, then the next 3 is closers, and then the top 3 is cleaners, right? So you're in between there somewhere. But then you might be thinking also, it's like, wow, but I'm just a teacher, or I'm just a bus driver, or I'm just me, or I'm just this, I'm just a single mom. But here comes the thing. When it comes to the cleaner, the cooler, closer, cleaner perspective, and you look at the broader perspective of it, like just because you are just, really notice that I'm making these air signs, because there's nothing just with what I'm about to say, right? Just because you are just a single mother doesn't mean you're not a closer or a cooler or a cleaner. You can definitely be a cleaner mom. You can definitely be a cleaner mom. Like I'm raised with a cleaner mom. Is my mom a cleaner at her work? Yeah, I'd like to argue she is. But then there are tons of different areas in her life where she's not that. Is that making sense? Like you can't be unstoppable on all areas of your life. You know what I mean? In the kitchen, I'm a fucking mess. Make no mistake. I'm all over the place. I don't really know what I'm doing. But then there's other areas in life that I know I'm dominating. You know, everybody knows one person. So when we talked about this cleaner mentality, right? Like the person that gets the work done. The person that is constantly like always hungry. Don't wait to be asked, they just do it. The cleaners rarely congratulate you on doing your job good. They expect you to do it. Listen to this one. I'm going to read you one more. Coolers don't want to carry the team, but they are the first one to slap you on the back when you did a good job. Closers wants the credit of getting the work done and love being congratulated for what they did. Cleaners rarely congratulate you for doing your job. They expect you to do it. We all know that cleaner character. So I want to know right now, when we're talking about this cleaner mentality, give me an example of one person that is a cleaner, and in what area of his or her life is that person a cleaner. My mom is a super cleaner at her work. Like she always does, she's the one that everybody looks at when shit hits the fan. She always gets the work done. She's constantly on time. She never misses a deadline. Like she's a super duper cleaner at work. So while you guys are writing, I'm gonna keep talking about that word cleaner, because he keeps referring to it over and over again in the book, and the way he describes it is like, okay, but what is a cleaner? Why is the highest achiever a cleaner? He talks about the Michael Jordans. He talks about the Steve Jobs, the super entrepreneur, the mothers who lost everything but always perform at the highest level when it comes to her children, for example, or the people that never misses a soccer game, or etc., right? And the way he talks about it is that why cleaner? Why the word cleaner? And the reason is that if you think about it, the cleaner is the one that knows all the secrets. If you work in a huge corporation, a huge office, the cleaner, he knows who left the condoms in the trash. He knows who stayed late. He knows the 2 people that stayed in late. He knows everything you tossed in the trash can. The cleaner knows about it. He knows all the little dirty secrets, and he tells nobody. He's always there to clean up your mess. A cleaner knows all the things and he has the keys to every door because he's the one who needs to enter it. An emergency, somebody needs to pick this up, call the cleaners. Right? They clean off the floor. Let me see here, what do we got? Some examples of some cleaners in the chat. Waiting for it to come in, waiting for it to come in. Dave is saying that his mom is a cleaner at work. What do you guys got? Let's go to work. Dan is saying her mother. My father at his job. Counting down. 3. My father. My husband is a cleaner at work. Everyone will give him the most difficult job that they can't do. They call it a Joe job. That's awesome. Right. So a lot of us have family, like father or mother figures that are cleaners, which is always inspiring, right? It's always inspiring to be around people that are performing at the highest level, just regardless of what is what, right? And then Tim goes on and he talks about what he calls the Relentless 13. And that's all the chapters of the book. And what's funny with Tim is that he doesn't give you a list from 1 to 13. He doesn't give you a list from 1 to 13. He just gives you 3 or 13 different categories, but everybody has the 1 in front of them. So what he means to say, or what he means with that, is that he tells you it's like they're all of equal importance. Because when you get a list of 1 to 13, we tend to think that 1 is the best and 13 is the worst, but Timmy gives us 13 number 1s. All right? So I will read all of them, and I really encourage all of you to get this book. But I will read all of the chapter titles, or as he calls it, the Relentless 13. And then we will dive a little bit deeper into one chapter. Is that all right with you guys? Yeah? Awesome. Let me see if I can get a nicer list here. Don't think is the first. Tim Grover, this motherfucker, I tell you. Here we go. The Relentless 13. He says, when you are a cleaner, ... you keep pushing harder when everybody else has had enough. When you're a cleaner, you get into the zone and you shut out everything else and you control the uncontrollable. When you're a cleaner, you know exactly who you are. You have a dark side that refuses to be thought to be good. When you are a cleaner, you're not intimidated by pressure, you thrive on it. When you're a cleaner, everybody's hitting the in case of emergency button and they're all looking at you. A lot of you guys are like this. A lot of you guys are like this at your jobs, in your family situation, where shit hits the fan, everybody calls you. Same thing with some of you guys when it comes to your friend circle. All right? You don't make decisions. You make decisions, not suggestions. You know the answer while everyone else is still asking the questions. You don't compete with anyone. You find an opponent's weakness and you attack. I get excited when I talk about just reading these chapters gets me excited. You don't have to love the work, but you're addicted to the results. That one is powerful. It's not the one we're going to talk about today, but it's really, really powerful. You rather be feared than liked. You trust very few people, and those you trust better never let you down. You don't recognize failure. You know that there is much more than one. You don't recognize failure. You know there is more than one way to get what you want. And then the final of the 13, or the first of the 13, depending on how you see it, you don't celebrate your achievements because you always want more. You don't celebrate your achievement because you always want more. Now, here's the thing. Me too. When I heard about this chapter, I'm like, damn, this book is not for me. This guy is fucking crazy. I don't want to live my life like this. But then after you read it, you open up your mind and it's like, wow, he really has a fair point here. He really has a fair point. This is crazy. So today we're gonna talk about one chapter that I believe is one of my favorite chapters. I can't say that it's one of the most important chapters, nothing like that, just one of my favorite chapters. And it's the chapter of you don't recognize failure because you know there is more than one way to get what you want. I think that's a very important chapter, just considering what's going on in all of our lives. And most of us who came to, or most of you who came and joined this type of coaching program and you invested money in becoming better, when you came here, you made a decision and you said to yourself, you know what? I'm not going to accept failure. I'm going to find a solution and find a way for me to become the person I want to become, regardless of what's happened in the past, right? How many people in here have ever tried a diet before you came to us? You ever tried to reach your goal weight or your goal look or your goal performance level before you got to us? Yeah, yes you did. But what you didn't do is that you didn't let your old failure hold you back into becoming the person you actually want to become. So it's very important of like, you know, there is more than one way to get what you want. And it's also more than one way for you to get through whatever situation you're faced with. And one of the first things he says, and it's such a clear understanding of what this is like, you are done when you say you're done. Like, I'm done attempting when I say I'm done attempting. I'm satisfied with my kid's behavior, or I'm satisfied with my salary or my current job or the way I look or whatever I decide, but I'm satisfied when I decide. I'm the one to decide. Nobody else is gonna decide for me when I'm done. Yeah, but you're too old to be a dancer. You should get a real job. I'm done when I say I'm done. Yeah, but you already lost 10 kilos of weight. Are you not done? Why don't you take some chocolate? You deserve it. You already trained 5 days this week. Yeah, but I'm done when I say I'm done. Because remember what it also says, you make decision, not suggestions. You make decisions, not suggestions. Everybody in here is a leader in one way or another. And we are all making decisions, we don't make suggestions. Because when you are, and here's the thing, and here's what I wanted to touch on based on this chapter, is that the reason why most of us are here is that we're really doing our best in attempting to changing something in our life, right? Mindset, self-love, training, nutritional habits, whatever it is. It's really important that you are the one that decide when you're done. Because it's not a failure until you stop attempting. Right? It's not a failure until you stop attempting. That's when it becomes a failure. It's like, I don't know how many here are into investment and like doing like cryptocurrency investments. And there is a saying when it comes to Bitcoin, and it's you don't lose money if you never sell. You only lose money when you sell. So one day you buy Bitcoin at $60,000 per coin, and then it sinks down to $20,000, and then you could argue that you've done that 80% loss, probably more, but you don't lose money until you sell. And it's exactly the same thing here. When it comes to it's a silly analogy, but it makes sense if you think about it, because it's the same thing here. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing here. Like if you're on a weight loss journey and you gained a couple of pounds, or you're on a journey, it's a weight loss journey. So this is why I don't say like you dropped some weight. Yeah, but you didn't drop some weight, because if you dropped it, it means that you're planning to pick it up, and that's not what this is. It's like you're a weight loss journey. It's a completely different thing. So what I mean with that is that it's gonna fluctuate. It's gonna fluctuate. You will go up and down, and then you will eat, and then you will skip training, and then I mean that's gonna happen. So we need to calculate it to happen. But you're only failing when you stop attempting. And that's a really, really, really important question. Really important distinguish. Look at Amalie, who is here, for example. She's a professional dancer. Imagine how many times she's been in a moment where she could have stopped dancing. Like, how many times didn't she had a moment of, yeah, but maybe I should stop? How many times in her career or whatever, like in anybody, I mean, all of you guys can relate it. All of you guys can relate to it in some way or another. And it's just so important, but it becomes, are you attempting? Are you content with failing here? Or do you want to keep trying until you ultimately do? Are you content with failing here? Are you content with stopping here? Or are you going to keep trying and keep trying and keep trying until you ultimately do? All right? So the chapter is to really recap what we're talking about the one chapter that we decided to talk about today, is that you don't recognize failure. You know that there is more than one way to get what you want, the end result. All right? And then we can start to talk about movie ending, for example. And when you talk about your movie ending, it's really important that, like, am I really fixed on this image? Is this the only image that I can see happen? Or is it the mission that I'm falling in love with? You understand what I mean? Am I so obsessed with the project that the mission gets lost? Or am I obsessed about the mission and the project doesn't really matter? Does that make sense? Because where a lot of people, and here's what I want all of us to do. Wait, I need to jump up a little bit. Yes?
What is the difference between project and mission?
Okay, so great, fantastic question. I'm glad you asked it. So, for example, I said that my mission is to help a lot of people. Like I said that my mission, before my mission was, I had like a fixed number that I removed for several reasons, but like my mission is to inspire and change dance culture and help dancers throughout the entire world to become better at what they are doing. Business, mindset, and training. Those are like the three things I want to help people with. All right? That's my mission. But right now, my project is dance-specific training with Be Fit and Sensual. I have the Inner Circle, or the Accelerator program, where I teach people to get started and get going really, really fast. And we have the mentorship program. But before that, I had Be Fit and Sensual, the festival, and I had Dancers Bootcamp online. But those two things I'm not doing right now. But those are projects. So I could have got caught in like, yeah, but this project is what I want to do. This project is something that I'm in love with. So that means that when COVID happened and we were supposed to have our festival, in 2020, for the fourth year in a row, I could have been so obsessed with the project that I lost track of the vision. But the vision was that helped me to navigate, because the project didn't happen because of COVID. So then I could have said, okay, but yeah, well, I guess I can't do anything, so I'm just gonna sit on my ass and do nothing. Or I could stop, look at what's happening, And then, okay, but what's the mission here? What am I going? What am I doing here? Not the project. The project is gonna end, but the mission stays the same. So if you are in a dance audition and you don't get the job, fuck the job. The job is just, that's a project. It's like a task. It's like, yeah, cool, I did it or I didn't do it. The mission is for you to be a professional dancer and live on dance. Did that make sense? Awesome. So where most people see a failure, I want all of you guys to start seeing an opportunity to grow. So if we're talking here, it's like, okay, but yeah, but maybe you're listening right now, or you're sitting at home in Texas or in wherever you're based, and you think, this doesn't describe me. Like, I'm not a person that is like, I see a lot of failures. I attempt a lot of things, but I fail. Like, I feel that as a failure. Yeah, but instead of seeing that and saying like, this is not me, see this as a measurement stick. Okay, but this is how I want to act. Because 100% that you're listening to this right now, and instead you have a little voice and it's saying like, this is not you. This is not you. You're not that person. I see some of you guys are smiling right now because you think I don't read your mind, but I live in your head, fam. I have the same voice, so don't worry about it. It's just that I don't choose to listen to that fucking voice all the time. Or let me restate that. It's impossible to not listen to that voice. However, it's a choice to react on it. All right? Let me say that again in a different way. You will always hear that voice, but you will be in control more and more of how you are going to react. Make sense? So, again, where most people see failure, you see an opportunity to grow. So the mindset become, instead of why is this happening to me, it becomes what can I do to, what can I get from this? Why is this happening to me? What can I get from this? Let me get my phone. I saw this was thank you. This was today actually. I heard was another guy who made a great post about exactly this. Come on, here we go. And he says, stop asking why is this happening to me, and start asking why do I allow this to happen to me. And it's kind of the same thing. Instead of asking why is this happening to me, it's like, well, why do I allow this to happen to me? So when people are faced with opportunities and you think like, okay, but why is this happening to me? I want all of us to start having the mindset of like, okay, but what can I get from this situation? I just got fired and I'm fucking in the middle of nowhere and I don't know how to get home. Okay, cool. What can I get from this? There's gotta be a way for me to get something out of this. Does that make sense? Like, write in the chat, like, what has been the most helpful so far, and do you have any questions? Now is the moment for you to unmute yourself. This is making sense, Marianne, right? Yeah? Cool. Axel, you feel safe, secure? Everything's making sense? Yeah? Cool. Klaus is saying, getting lost, find a party. Klaus must be Scandinavian. With a mindset like that, he must be one of us. What has been the most helpful, and do you have any questions?
I do. You said projects versus something else.
Yeah.
What was it? Projects versus...
Mission.
Mission. Yes. That's really helpful.
Yeah, because like think about it like this, right? So you want to inspire people. Like that's your base thing. You want to inspire people with dance and therapy and music and connecting with yourself. But the tool for you to get there, the project, the tool, is your dance school. But if you can't open your dance school, that doesn't mean that the mission is done. That doesn't mean that you lose track of the mission. You still want to inspire people. But a lot of people are so focused on the project that they forget the mission. And that's where we fucked up. That's where we lose. It's not the project. Fuck the project. Find a solution. Because why? Because you are in charge. You know when it's a failure. It's not a failure. It's not a failure when you stop trying or until you stop attempting.
Actually, it's helped the other way around as well, because I was struggling with thinking of too many things to do, but I've realised that actually the mission always stays the same, but I've got projects under the mission.
Exactly.
So I just need to work on the projects one at a time.
Exactly. And then ultimately you reach your mission.
Yeah.
Exactly. My takeaway is that there is always an opportunity to grow in every failure. I love the 3 characters. I want to be clean. I like the thought of the mission never ending. I will try to ask in every situation of failure or stress, why do I allow this to happen to me? Because that's the thing. That's the thing. Is like you whatever you are not attempting to change, you are allowing. Whatever in life that you are not attempting to change, you are basically allowing it. That one is a tough one, so I'm gonna say it again to let it sink in. I see that it resonates with a lot of you guys. Whatever you are not attempting to change, you are allowing that. That's a conscious decision from you to let that shit stay the same. You're in a toxic relationship, it's because of you. Because you are deciding to be in that relationship. Now, do I say that it's because it's your own fault? It's not what I'm saying. Am I saying that it's hard to get out of a toxic relationship after years and years of mental abuse and maybe even some physical abuse? Like, I have no idea how hard it can be. Like, I have no idea. I can only imagine how tough that shit must be. Like, I can only imagine. I know it's so hard that some people actually choose to end their life instead of leave those types of relationship. So I can only imagine how tough it must be. But with that being said, it doesn't take away the fact that in one way or another, you are allowing it to happen. Because what it comes down to is that it's your life and your responsibility to get yourself out of it. Now, that might just be that you need to ask for help, for professional help. That makes sense, right? Like it sounds so cruel, but it's not coming from a place of cruelty. And then there is a lot of things, right? This is one of the things that I read in the book, which is so powerful. Okay, wait, before I go, that's like, how can I stay on my mission in this situation? How can I leverage this situation to gain traction for my mission? Give Edeline a round of applause. God damn it. Those are 2 very powerful PS questions. David, can you copy those questions and send that shit to me? Those are powerful questions. It's like, this is also a thing, is like most of us need to ask ourselves better questions. That's a big thing that I'm focusing on. I actually read an entire book about how to ask better questions. When you ask the right questions, you get better answers. And here's another thing. Here's one thing that I want to talk about and touch base on that Tim is talking about. He's talking about, again, remember the title of the chapter. We're talking about you don't recognize failure. You know that there is more than one way to get what you want. And Tim is saying, he says, how can you fail at something when nobody else have done it before? Like there is no measurement for success. And he talks about Michael Jordan, who buys an entire basketball teams and plays in the basketball teams at the same time, and they don't super perform, they don't win the series. And people says, yeah, but he failed there. And it's like, well, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You never owned a basketball team. You don't know how it is. Like, what are you measuring failure from? Like, you have no idea what you're talking about. And then it's like, yeah, but Sebastian, my situation is not that unique. There is many other women before me, or men, that has managed to lose weight and love themselves and blah blah blah. It's true. It's very true. If you look at your situation on a broader perspective, you're definitely not the first one in history of mankind to attempt what you're attempting. But if you look at your individual case in a very, very specific way, I can guarantee you that there is no one who has done what you are attempting to do, because your situation is so fucking unique. So I can say that, yeah, of course, my situation is not unique because I'm not the first one who wants to inspire people and give them and help them with self-love and confidence and mindset and give them the body that they aspire to get. I'm not the first guy who do that. I'm not the first dancer who decides to jump over to personal training and then happens to train a couple of dancers or two. I'm not the first guy who do that. But I can guarantee you that I'm the first 30-year-old, half Swedish, half Cape Verdean guy with my fucking crazy ass upbringing and my crazy family who is traveling the world together with my best friend and my girlfriend, running a company and doing all of these crazy things that I'm trying to do at the same time as I'm a professional dancer. I'm gonna train people actively and I'm doing business coaching. It's like I can guarantee you I'm the only one. So on the broader perspective, it's not that unique. You can get a lot of inspiration from other people who's been attempting to do what you've been doing. But if you really, really narrow it down and really look at the specific details of your individual life, there's no one else who have done it because there's only one version of you. So how do you measure success? Like, what are you talking about? The people come to criticize you. It's like, yeah, but you're not doing it right. They're like, compared to who? Compared to who? Am I going to take advice from you? Like, look at your life. Look at your crazy ass life. Like, you honestly think I want to take advice from you? You understand? It's like your individual life is so unique. So it's like, why would I give two fucks about what that person is thinking? Like, you think I'm a failure? I couldn't care less. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to give you the honest truth. I do care. I do care. Why? Because I'm human. I'm human. So of course I care what the other person thinks about me. Like, of course I hear that voice. But do I let that stop my action towards getting to where I want to get? That's the difference. Do I hear that voice? Yes. Do I hear that negativity? Yes. Does it affect me? Yes. Do I allow it to stop my actions? No. Fuck it. I do it anyway. Why? Because I make a decision, not a suggestion. It's my life. I do what I want. Leave me alone. Give me a round of applause, goddammit. I think I nailed that one. I felt I nailed that one. Show's over. Cool. Let me see where I'm going with this. You don't recognize failure. I talked about this earlier, and some of you have heard me say it. The last things I want to talk about. But so it talks a lot about like owning the situation. Like, I fuck up a lot. Like, I fuck up a lot. Like, when I do things, I fuck up. Like, I say a lot of crazy shit, I fuck up. Like, frequently. But what I mean with that is that I fuck up, I learn from my mistake, then I find a way to do it. And that's like the circle of life. It's like you do something, you fuck up or you fail, and you stay down, you get knocked out, and you stay down, and you just look around you. What did I learn from this? What can I learn from this situation? Why did I allow this situation to happen to me? And then you go out and fix it and you find a way. And that's so important because let me share my screen. Wait, let me share my screen. No, wait, I fucked it up. Here, let me share my screen. How many people do you see can do this? How many Zoom webinars have you been in and the guy just slides the screen over like this? Not a lot of webinars, have you? Exactly. I was talking so much shit, so I don't even know what my point was. What was I talking about?
Let's stay now.
Exactly. Thank you. So look at it like this. Bam. Den gör så igen, du vet. Den buggar. Varför var det? Vad var grejen till det?
Funkar den inte utsatt innan?
Ja, men det pallar jag inte nu alltså. Here we go. So this is time. And this is, let's call it project success. And it will probably go here, time will go, you will be some peaks and valleys. And this, we talk about it as this, we talk about this a lot, so it's not going to be nothing new, but it's like, you look at it here, and what happened here is that you got knocked out. Something happened, and you got knocked out, and life is terrible. Because you zoom in like this, and you look at only that part of life, and you say, but why am I knocked out? But then you listen to Coach Sebastian, and you say, yeah, but it's true. Coach said that I will get knocked out, and then when I'm here, there is a lesson here. And that lesson will catapult you up. And then something else will happen and you will get knocked down. And something else, and you will get up and you will keep learning. And you will keep learning, and sooner or later you will just get to where you want to get. You get to the promised land. I don't know what I did there. That makes sense, right? So it's like when shit hits the fan and you get knocked down, stay down a little bit. Stay down a little bit. Why did I allow myself to be in this fucked up situation that I am right now? Damn, this is the 10th time this year I get scammed. This is the 5th boyfriend that is abusing me mentally in a row. Why am I allowing this to happen to me? Very important question to ask yourself. Very, very important question to ask yourself. And you ask yourself these questions when you're down here. Because up here, you don't have those questions. Because life is good. So when you're here, here is where we learn. You learn with your failures. Or you learn when times is tough. Up here, that's not when we're learning. Up here is when we feel unstoppable. Up here we don't care about nothing. All right, that's what I mean. You fail, you learn, and you come back to me. Boom. Saw what I did there? You guys saw what I did there, right? Yeah. Thank you. So that's a cut. That was a cut. Yeah, we spent a lot of money on that transition, so I hope you enjoyed it.
Kom igen, more.
That was literally a $10 transition. Literally. But yeah, it's like you learn when you fuck up, and again, it's not a failure, it's a lesson. So then you use that lesson to move forward. Don't buy this like silly ass like get knocked out 7 times, stands up 8. It's not about how many times you get knocked down, it's about many times you stand up. I prefer to get knocked out once. I've been knocked out, I've done martial art, it fucking sucks ass. It's not fun. It sucks ass to get knocked out. It's not a cool thing. It's terrible. Like you feel like a loser also. It's super humiliating. You get knocked out and then you wake up and everybody's standing over you and like, what happened? Did I pee my pants? Like, what are we doing? I think this makes sense. And then the last thing is I want to talk about is just stop trying, start doing. Stop trying and start doing. Enough with the fucking trying. Most of us have tried. Most of us have tried way too long. You know what? You know what my favorite thing is? Or not my favorite, but it's a. I think about it every time. As soon as we have a student that comes to me and is usually most people comes to us about again 3 things. It's like mindset, nutrition, and physicality, like how you actually looks or how your body's performing. And then we talk about some people that want to lose weight. And when somebody tells you, I tried everything, nothing works. Like, yeah, that's why you're failing. That's why it didn't work. Why? Because you kept trying. First of all, there are 2 things in that statement. I tried everything, nothing works. Okay, number 1 is that you tried. That's the first thing that we need to fix. Stop trying, start doing. And then the second thing we need to fix is that you tried everything. So you basically tried nothing. Because it's compounded effect, right? So it's like, it's compounded effect. It's like, yeah, but don't give me all the steps at the same time. Give me 1 step and master that step. And then after you can add another step. And then you master that step. But stop trying, start doing. It sounds crazy, but it's like, you're not the first person to do what you're trying to attempt, but yes you are, but if another person can do that, you can do that too. You just gotta believe in it. Is this making sense? Like I'm trying to summarize everything and I'm not sure if I'm just rambling, but it's you haven't tried everything. The point, the fact that you are trying is what's holding you back. Stop trying and start doing it. I'm trying to lose weight. No, you're not. You're not trying to lose weight. You're doing it. Just because you are here, because you're down in the thing I painted, just because you're on the low part doesn't mean you're not on the journey. Just that you're so focused on the details of the current situation, so you forget the mission. The mission for you right now is to just get rid of that. But the journey is that this is the weight loss journey. The weight loss journey is not linear. It's not a rocket. It doesn't go straight up. It looks like this. I'm trying to become a professional dancer. No, you're not. You're doing it. This is exactly what it is. Just because you didn't book the job doesn't mean that you're not a professional dancer. This makes sense, right? Like I feel I'm making a lot of sense today. And then there is, now I want to keep talking. Now I want to keep ranting. It's another thing that bothers me. A lot of people come to us and they say like, I want to find myself. You ever heard that? You meet somebody and they say like, yeah, I want to find myself. I'm trying to find myself. I was 19 and I said exactly the same thing. I moved to Australia together with David when I was 19. No money. Imagine, I live in Sweden. I had 2,000 euros in my account, never paid rent in my entire life, can't cook, have no idea where I'm gonna live, and moved to the other part of the world, literally, with my best friend, and I have 2,000 euro in my account. No ticket home. Nothing. 19 years old. It's like you're basically a baby. Hilarious. Anyway, and I went there, and when I think my father asked me, he's like, why are you going to Australia? And I said, like, I'm gonna try to find myself. My father is a comedian. He's like, oh really? Where? Under a rock? They're like, where are you gonna find yourself? Like that's the most silliest thing I ever heard. You don't find yourself stupid, you create yourself. Like you don't find yourself. It's like, wow, here's Sebastian. That's not how it is, you create yourself. So stop trying to find yourself and start creating yourself. What do I like? What do I want? What are the attributes that I like in other people that I would love to see in myself? What are the things that I want to buy so I can have them in my life? What are other people that I want in my life? And then you create allies, and then you know, they want the same thing as you, and then you find out that one is an asshole and you cut that person off, and then you keep on going. Why? And you don't obsess over that one asshole that was part of your life. You cut that asshole out because you're not focused on the project, you focus on the mission. Am I starting to make sense? Fuck the project, focus on the mission. Life gets easier like that. Right?
Sebastian, can I share something?
Shoot.
Happened recently? So you know the situation that I'm in with leaving my job and everything. So similar thing. So I kept saying, this is what I'd like to do. I'd like to go into dance therapy. It'd be great if I could. And then my mindset changed. As soon as I changed my job, my situation is no different. I'm still in my job. I'm not a dance therapy teacher or studio owner yet, but I now say I am doing, because I've made that step in my mind.
Exactly.
So it's not that actually anything has particularly changed yet, but in here it has.
And listen, that's the difference. That is the only difference. That's the only difference. Like, it's all here. It's only mind. It's only mind, because the physicality stays the same. Shit stays the same. It's just you that changed. You just changed in your mind. Like, but you look the same, right? Marianne, you can just unmute yourself. Like, you know, nobody's raising their hands here. You know what I mean? It's like it's me you're talking to. Just shoot. No worries. Go ahead.
Sorry, I'm new and I didn't want to interrupt.
You're fantastic. You keep going. What did you have a question?
I have several questions.
Shoot them all.
Okay. The biggest one, I'll start with like mindset.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only one that has expressed this, and I feel like a lot of people are on the same boat. We're very kind and generous to others in their journeys, whether it's dance, job, school, or anything. But when it comes to ourselves, we're very impatient and need to.
Yeah.
And that has actually prevented me from, I don't want to say starting a lot of new things, but finishing them. So I guess my question for you is how do you stop that mentality? Like, what happens if your biggest obstacle is yourself? It's like, I want to be great at this thing, but I'm not great at it as quickly as I would like it to be, or even right away. So I get frustrated with myself.
Yeah,
and then,
that's a great question. Could you give me an example in what area of your life that has been that has been?
I'll give one example. It's something that I've not started, but I've always wanted to do kickboxing or like Muay Thai or something like that. I'm very weak. Like, I'm not a very athletic person. I've never been. Like, dance is about as athletic as it has gotten for me. And that's mostly because I view it as a creative thing. It's like, okay, I'm having fun here. I'm being creative. It's not really physical. But I want to push myself some more, and I've always loved kickboxing, but I'm very self-conscious in the fact that I'm not athletic by nature. And so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to suck at this for probably way too long. Like, should I even bother? I don't know, I'm kind of there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it definitely makes sense. But like, I think I'm just thinking about which direction I should answer this question. I think one of the biggest things that I do at least, and anybody else who's listening who wants to share your tips to Marianne, how you individually, because I'm definitely no god or guru here. I'm the spokesperson and trying to deliver what we all, or let's create some clarity. But what I do is that I have a tool that I love to use, and I call it the inaction spiral. It's like, okay, but I'm using this tool, the inaction spiral, to calculate the cost of inaction, because it comes with a cost, right? So for how long time have you been like considering doing Muay Thai? Like maybe a year, right? Or maybe long, let's say a year. So it's like, okay, but what happens if I don't do Muay Thai? Maybe not a lot. Maybe not a lot, right? But if you think about it, probably. You will probably happen something because you are choosing to not do something because you're holding yourself back. So instead of thinking about, okay, but what happens if I don't do Muay Thai? Let's flip it and think, okay, but what happens if I keep holding myself back? So I create fear. I create fear and discomfort in myself. And this is a tip that it's a strange tip, but bear with me. And I think it's gonna make sense. So, but what happens if I continue to hold myself back 1 year from now? Okay, maybe I'm not gonna meet the guy that I want to meet. Maybe I will miss an opportunity at work. Maybe I will fill in the blanks, right? And then I just go down that spiral and I look at it, okay, 6 months from now, 1 year from now, 3 years from now. And then it's like, okay, but where do I end here? Did that make sense? So that's one tool that I use to, first of all, scare myself into taking action. But that's just how I work. I know I work like that, so I know it works for me. But in your case, and you're saying it's like, yeah, but I'm very soft and helpful on everyone else, and then I'm very hard and harsh, if I got that right, on myself. That's what you said, or like that's the context, right? So it's awesome. I'm the same. Trust me. Everybody who's looking, everybody who's here with you are exactly the same. Because if not, they wouldn't be here. Like all of us are coming here because we are crazy motherfuckers like that. Use that to your advantage. That's a great skill to have. That's an awesome skill to have if you control it. So instead of thinking, okay, I need to change it, again, same mindset. What can I get from this? How can I turn this crazy voice that I hear up here into an opportunity to grow? All right? Am I making sense? So I'm really hard on myself. Like I put ridiculous amount of pressure on myself. And that's why I'm never nervous. Like I'm so not scared of failing. Like I'm not scared of failing. I'm not scared of judgment, because my own pressure, like what I expect from myself, is so high. So like another person can't, it wouldn't make any sense for another person to expect that from me, because it's just I put a crazy amount of pressure on myself. But that's a good thing if I control it. And you can control it. But right now you're letting your bad self-esteem hold you back. So you don't have a procrastination problem, you probably have a self-esteem problem. And that's what we gotta deal with. Did that make sense? Like, unmute yourself.
Yeah, it did. And I feel a little called out, but that's okay.
Nah, yeah, but no, yeah, don't worry. I called you out, but I basically called myself out at the same time.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, no, you're not wrong. It is
Yeah.
self-esteem.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? So it's like, okay, but so then, but what am I actually? What's the mission? What am I actually trying to fix here? Okay, but is it the procrastination problem? It's not a procrastination problem. It's the fact that you feel X, Y, and Z, right? Like we probably need to talk longer about for me to give you like an exclusive advice for you, and I would love to have that conversation with you. But I think what it comes down to, what I do at least, if I can give you like 2 quick tips, is that one, if you need to scare yourself into taking action, like really look at the situation, like what am I missing out here? I'm missing out on great friendship. Muay Thai can be super creative. I did it for years. I did Muay Thai for years, and it can be super creative if you when you become good at it. Fun, boost your confidence. So that's one thing that works for me. And then the second, use the tool called the inaction spiral. If you haven't have access to that, there is probably a worksheet somewhere that we have created, and I can send it to you. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is to, okay, this is what I do. This is what I do here. I have a tendency to, when I want this, I start to do X, Y, and Z. Why? Because I'm really harsh on myself. Okay, so I'm harsh on myself. Okay, that's the thing. Now, how can I use that to my advantage? How can I use it to my advantage? Because it's all energy. This is gonna sound like hippie talk, but it's all energy. So, but you can decide where you are going to place that energy. Make sense? Like, when you had a fight with your boyfriend and then you go out dancing and it's like the best dance night ever? Or when you fought with your boyfriend or your mom and then you're like, I'm so something, I can't concentrate, and then you sit down and you study and you just get into super flow state. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
Tons of energy that you randomly, subconsciously or consciously managed to put into one spot, and it makes total sense. And everything became good. You can control that. You just gotta learn how to. So that's your mission. That's what you need to do. You need to understand, how can I use this crazy shit that's happening up here to my benefit? Because you're probably perfectionist, right?
I can be, yes.
Fantastic thing to be. Great thing to be. But it's also like your biggest blessing is your biggest curse. For sure. For sure, for sure. If you're perfectionist, that's amazing when you can use it to your advantage. But it can also crumble you. It can also dwarf your results if not used properly. But I'm certain that we can find a way for you to get there.
Thank you.
Not worry about it. You have any other questions? You had a few more?
Okay. I really like your concept of projects versus mission. So I guess my question is, does the mission change? Because I can see how projects can change, but if the mission is at the core, yes. So my question is, what happens if your mission changes? Like, how do you deal with that? Because if there's anything I've learned in a very short time here on Earth, probably compared to most of y'all, things change.
All the time.
All the time. So I guess it's just, how do you roll with the punches without not letting it change too much of who you are?
So it depends, right? It always changes. And I think that's the cool thing about life. Because I think that you will probably, in the span of the 80 plus years that you're going to spend on this earth, maybe you are going to make 3 decisions that are like, this is a decision that I will stand for the rest of my life. A tattoo, a kid, and maybe marriage. Maybe. Like, and that's if we give you the benefits of the doubt, right? But so what a lot of us do is that we get so hung up with, okay, but is this actually what I want? Do I want to spend my entire life doing this? Don't worry about it. This is not a lifetime decision. This is a mission that you want to do now for a little while. Look at Danny. Danny, how old are you? How young are you?
Yeah, that's better.
Thank you.
52.
And she just changed her career. Just changed her entire career. Why? Because she wanted to. Because she made a decision. But if she would have been in the mind frame of like, oh no, but this is my mission, this is the mission, Like I cannot change the mission. The mission is for me to work at this place, and I cannot change the mission. Then she would be stuck. Then she wouldn't be able to thrive what she's doing right now. Missions change. You change. Roll with the punches. It's a part of life. Again, sometimes you need to widen the horizon, and like you're saying, it's like I'm young. So don't look at this part. Don't look at only this part of life when life is this long. Did that make sense? So it's like mission change, you change. That's good. A lot of people, they say like, yeah, but this like when they come to start training with us, like, yeah, but is this sustainable? Can I do this for the rest of my life? I'm like, no, you cannot do this for the rest of your life. That's not what this is about. Like, we're doing lifestyle changes, but it's not the one fix that you're gonna do for the rest of your life. That's not what this is. You're gonna do this now for a couple of months, and then we will find something new. But then the more you look into what we call over here like your movie ending, the more you will find the core mission, like the core mission of yours. Like my core mission is to inspire. That's essentially what it is. Help inspire. Now, will I do that with dance? Maybe. Will I do that with coaching? Maybe. Will I do that with, I don't know, my beautiful looks? Definitely. Will I do this with my... Makes sense, right? So it's like, we have a tendency to put too much pressure into one thing, and it's like, wow, this becomes the end all be all. It doesn't need to be like that. It's like it's like I had this conversation with my little brother. It's like, listen, you love this girl now, right? He's like, yeah, but it's my little brother. He's like, yeah, but I'm not sure if she's the one for the rest of my life. It's like, don't worry about it. You don't know what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. You haven't made a decision so far that it's a lifetime decision. Like I had a conversation the other day with like one of my friends. He's like, yeah, but we're 30 now. It's like, we got to grow up. I'm like, what are you talking about? Let's say I'm gonna be at least 100 years old. At least 100 years old. So, like that's 30% of my life. Like I think that's like the definition of the beginning. They're like, when do you become a grown-up? It's like, you guys are older than me. Like, when do you become a grown-up? Like 25? Like, you know, not even? Never.
No, never, ever.
You see what I mean? So it's like you're in the beginning of your life. Like, I mean, still in the beginning. It's like, why you put so much pressure on me? Like, leave me alone.
Can I add something?
Yeah, go, shoot. Don't hesitate.
I think, Marianne, it's your perfectionist is coming in because you want, like, oh, if I make this decision, it has to, you know, like for my mission, it has to, you know, I have to make that my mission for the rest of my life. But it's you know, because I want things pat and finished and done and this narrow pathway. But I think what happens is that, okay, so you make a decision and then you go with it and things happen and you find, oh, I really like this now, and then, you know, you adjust. I think it's life is just a bunch of adjustments. Because I think if you make a decision, it's not going to be like, oh my God, this is horrible, this is wrong, I ruined my life. It's never going to be that. It's always going to be like a series of adjustments and, you know, turning maybe a different direction, but not totally the opposite direction. So, like when I talk to my students, I always say, you know, just make a decision and you'll figure it out. And what's the worst that can happen? So.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Muay Thai is like, just do it. See, you know, like maybe you're more athletic than you know, because, you know, you don't know yet because you haven't done it. So.
That's so true, and it's like we call that over here, we call that the do something principle. And the more you hang out here, Marianne, the more you're gonna learn all of these tools and like sayings that we got. But like the do something principle is like, I don't know what to do. Something. Just start. Just do something. And if you don't like it, you change. and then you come back and then life happens to you and try again, or you do it again, and then.
Sebastian, can I add something to Linda's?
Shoot.
So, I agree when she said about. I was going to say about adapting, so that I think sometimes with me, my mission also then there's a higher mission above that. So it's like my mission has changed because I've changed my job, but my ethos. So there was a mission above that I didn't know I had. So my mission was to help people, help the community. I did that through a hospice, and now I've done my bit there. That's 12 years of doing that bit, but I didn't realize there was a higher one. So what I've done is I've adapted and I've shifted my kind of lower mission. So I've now got this, but this top mission stayed the same.
Exactly.
So I've got these projects underneath, but I've just switched across. But also, I felt it was really difficult to leave that job, but there are little bits of adapting that I might be able to take across. And so I'm still going to be helping the charity, but in a completely different way. So I'm not separating myself completely.
Yes.
So it's a kind of like a mission that has kind of spikes coming off it, but then the main aim is to make a difference.
Exactly. Did that create some clarity, Marianne? Yeah? Cool.
It did. And I did appreciate the difference between mission and ethos, because I think that provided more clarification.
Nice.
And yes, I do agree. Sometimes you just need to make a decision. But yeah, it's kind of hard sometimes, especially now.
For sure.
So there's so many routes you could take, so many decisions you can make.
Exactly.
The choices can be overwhelming. Let's
Yeah,
put it like that.
100%. Axel and Martina, you guys good? Everything good with you? Yeah. Gracia, Klaus, everything is clear as ice? Or any questions? No? Awesome. Familia, that's it. That is Team Grover, Good to Great to Unstoppable. Get the book, amazing. It's not a nice read. It's not an easy road to be on together with Tim, but it's a nice one still. Like, you appreciate it. It's a lot of tough love. Focus on your mission. Don't focus on your projects. Stop trying, start doing. You don't recognize failure. You know there is more than one way to get there. Cool? Perfect. I'm gonna say bye, dancers. I'm gonna unmute all of you, and you're gonna say 4 dancers, and there we go. Everybody unmute yourself. So I will say bye, dancers. You're gonna say 4 dancers. And before we do this, I usually say this. Sometimes I forget, but thank you for doing this together with me. Appreciate you. Thank you for giving me a platform where I can speak my mind. It helps me to sort out whatever is happening up here. It makes me feel like I have a huge purpose, and I'm appreciating all of you. All right? Now, with that being said, I will say bye, dancers. We're gonna do this thing for my Instagram because I haven't posted anything today, so I need to do that now. Alright, familia, that's it for today. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you so much for giving my life purpose. I absolutely love Mondays. Remember, as always, bye, dancers. Alright, talk to you guys soon. Ciao. Thank you so much. See you next week. Bye bye.
Så gå inte ut nu då. Prova och bara switcha till skrivbordet. Ja, det syns inte så kameran är kvar på dig liksom. Så du kan ju fan gå liksom.
Okej, jag kan vara här och leka också.
Ja, för förra gången gjorde jag det. Jag gjorde att jag switchade. Jag shared screen där.